Planet Vero Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Treasure Coast Connector, connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. Treasure Coast Connector is the talk show and online forum putting a spotlight on interesting local businesses and resources, and then connecting them to you, the consumers in the community. Everyone has an interesting story of why they do what they do. And when we learn about what's happening in our own backyard and support local businesses, it strengthens our local economy. For all the details on past shows and interviews, promos, discounts, visit www.tcconnector.com. So while the Florida real estate market is going strong, the interest rates are going up a bit. There's other factors. It's cooling down, but there's still plenty of opportunities to be had for buyers, sellers, and investors. Joining me in the studio today is Nelson Diaz, and he is the managing partner of Enndee LLC, and he has some great information to share because he has never met a problem that doesn't have a solution. So welcome to the show, Nelson.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Ellen.
Yeah, so that statement obviously stuck with me when we had our conversation a few weeks ago. So, and that was before the holidays. So happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yep. We have some people off camera in the studio with us. Your partner, who can't wait to have a show all of her own, Barb Hebert of Exit Right Realty. I always say behind a really strong man is a stronger woman. How does that sound? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Very good.
Gives you energy, gives you a boost.
Yeah. And then your son, Matt, Barb's son, Matt, and then Angie, she's going to come in the second half. So it's nice that you have some family support.
It is.
And so before we start talking about what you do, tell everyone why you wanted to get into real estate investment.
I was bored. No.
Okay, that's
I used to be. I used to be an engineer, and I was at it for about 17 years. And like with everything, sometimes you just kind of want to do something else. Mm-hmm. And for about a year and a half, I looked around, see what I was interested in, and real estate was the thing for me. So I started getting into that, and then I was hooked. I left the job, and I became unemployable.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. No, but that's good. So with an engineering background, you're all about figuring out problems and, sorting things out. So that's actually a lot of really good transferable skills. And engineers have to deal with risks. And there's a handful of risky situations that come up in real estate every now and then. So.
Well, risk is also how you look at something.
Yeah.
Some people say that going to a job, working for 40 years and maybe having some sort of retirement or counting on Social Security, that may be more risky than working for 5-7 years and building some sort of retirement income is less risky. But it all depends on what you're comfortable with, I guess.
Yeah, no, that is very true. So we were talking also a couple of months ago about situations that some homeowners have found themselves in. One of the ways in which you help people, we're going to go over that during the show, people that find themselves in a pre-foreclosure or a foreclosure status. They're panicked, they're scared, their brains shut down, they don't see the potential solutions around them. And so that's where you come in. So I'd love for you to share some of the deals that were structured and success stories, because there might be somebody else out there that's in that situation that will want to give you a call.
Well, first of all, don't panic. Things usually work out. Find someone that can help you with it. You should be okay. The way we've structured some of the deals is someone's going through a foreclosure. Scary. They've never been through it. They don't know what to do. sometimes call the wrong people. But investors can find a way to possibly take that mortgage from you, put it through a third party, and get you out of pay your back pay if you have any sort of back payments that need to be paid.
Okay.
Possibly get you some sort of small help to get you out of the home, or depending on what it may be, get you set up financially so you can move on to the next chapter of your life, and know that your mortgage is going to be paid by someone. This way you don't go into a foreclosure where your credit takes a hit for, 7-10 years. Yeah. Depending on what state you live in. So again, don't panic.
Yeah.
Call someone, talk to someone, and you should be able to come out okay.
Yeah, I think the biggest lessons that a lot of people, it's still fresh in their memory, whether it's themselves personally or friends or family that went through it, was 2007 and 8. It was quite a disaster.
I had a young, not a young lady, senior.
Okay.
Her husband had passed away, and she told me the story over the phone. I went over to her house, grabbed a box of tissues. I told her, get your own. These are mine. Sad story. Anyway, I was able to get her back payments, get her up to spec. I was able to find a place for her and move her out. Then I took over her payments, took over the place, fixed it up because it needed some help.
Yeah.
Needed some repairs. I did that and sold the place, and we shared in the profits.
That's wonderful.
As well.
Wow.
That was part of the deal.
Yeah.
But it just depends on the situation that you're in. I have to find out what situation you're in, and then from there you can do certain options to manipulate the situation so that everything falls into a good place for everyone.
Right. And that's what makes you so good at what you do. You're very consultative, and you have this big picture. So you actually there's a duality with you that I noticed, is that you're that big picture kind of a person to see all the potential opportunities and what some of the best ones are for someone. And then you can just hone in and narrow your focus to that solution and then make it happen. So either somebody's a big picture or, they're a narrow focus person, but you have the best of both worlds, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking at the time. We have a couple of minutes before our first break, but I know what's happening now. I can feel it, that there are people that are saying, I need some help. So how do people, for those listening on iHeartRadio and the 8 podcasts that we're on, how do they connect with you?
Phone call, email. I believe you guys have my number, my email somewhere.
Yep. So we have it up here on the screen for those that are watching. So it's not, so here, anybody that's in foreclosure, don't panic. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm very bossy that way. 954-789-4356. And then BC, B as in boy, C as in cat, Nelson Diaz at gmail.com. I don't know that whole military code,
You don't have to. You're good.
C is Charlie, but I don't know what B is. Bravo. C? Okay, very good. So Bravo Charlie Nelson Diaz at gmail.com.
Yeah.
For those that want to connect with you.
Call me in anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're feeling a little panicky.
Yeah. And so you know what? So we're at the beginning of 2003, and everybody would love a crystal.
23?
What did I say?
2003?
2003. Oopsie. Yeah. There's no champagne during this show today. I have nothing to fall back on. I would have blamed it on that. 2023. I can't believe it. Maybe that's why I went back 20 years. But we would love a crystal ball for the lottery numbers and all sorts of things. Wouldn't that be great? But a lot of people are upset about this whole interest rate rising. But historically, we're still in a good spot compared to like the 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you think are some of the things that people should watch out for this year in the real estate world?
Well, I think if you have a home and you're selling, don't be opposed to taking a little bit of less money for your home before the homes drop even more.
Okay.
I was looking at some of the news. BOA CFO, Bank of America's CFO had said that it's probably going to last another year and a half of decline.
Okay.
And so if you're looking to sell a home, if it keeps declining, you're going to get less for your home. So don't be afraid to take less right now.
Mm-hmm.
And as opposed to waiting, and then take a whole lot less, then have to wait until everything stabilizes, and then have to wait until it picks back up again, until you're back to where you want it. And that could take 5, 6, 7 years.
Right. So don't put your life on hold. So if you're here in Florida and you're on the East Coast and you want to go on to live on the West Coast, then just do it. Or if you're a Northerner, I don't want any more Northerners coming into Vero. Go somewhere. I'm just kidding. I'm from New York originally. They let me in. But, if you're in the Northeast and you want to be here, don't put your life on hold and just wait.
Don't put it on hold.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a buyer, take advantage. Don't worry too much about the interest rates. I think today they're at 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry too much about the interest rate. Worst case scenario, you get a nice home at a very decent price.
Mm-hmm. And
then when the rates go down, refinance the home.
Yeah, absolutely. So, very good.
2.5 is the rule of thumb.
A 2.5, you mean to wait
to
before?
refinance the home. So if you're at 7.5, wait till it drops to about 5.
Okay.
And you'll come out on top.
Very
good. If it drops even more, then hey, go for it.
Yeah, then all the better. So we need to take a break. But Nelson Diaz of Enndee, LLC, he has a lot more to say. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Advertising is essential. You've got to make people aware that you're there. We can do that with a cohesive marketing campaign from Evergreen Media. Based on your business goals, we'll create a mix of digital advertising on social media sites like Facebook, video advertising on streaming sites like Hulu and Paramount Plus, and supplement them with local TV and radio ads. Build awareness, educate, and inform the public with a cohesive marketing campaign by Evergreen Media. Check out egreenmedia.com or search online for Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
It's the biggest frog leg festival in the world. Don't miss the Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival this Thursday through Sunday. Enjoy mouth-watering frog leg and gator tail dishes, browse hundreds of booths for unique gifts, listen to great music, and enjoy fun carnival rides galore. Discover why the Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival is a January tradition. Admission and parking are free. I Think Financial presents the Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival. It gets hoppin' this Thursday through Sunday. Details at froglegfestival.com.
Right now at Sunshine Furniture, it's New Year sale time. We're clearing our warehouses to make room for new styles, and this means you can save on selected in-stock furniture from Lloyd Flanders, Beechcraft, Windward, Riverside, Universal, Capri, Telescope, and more. Sofas, dining sets, patio groups, occasional chairs, cabinets, bedroom sets, tables, lots of pieces on sale for inside and out. At Sunshine Furniture, we have the largest selection of coastal furniture anywhere, including a gallery of Lexington, Tommy Bahama Home, and Universal Coastal Living collections. Visit Sunshine Furniture now for our New Year sale. Also, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com, and don't forget to shop our outlet and sales store just across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Ooh, have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I've been chatting with Nelson Diaz of Enndee, LLC, a real estate investor. And wouldn't it be great if you had all the answers to everybody's real estate issues for 2023?
It would be fantastic.
My gosh, it would. But you did give some good advice in the first half. And, we were talking about different ways that you help people. And so one of the things here in Florida, people retire here. And the adult children are elsewhere. And then when they pass, and this happened to me, actually 10 years ago, is there's a house that's left behind, and the adult children that sometimes they say, I want no part of this. And then it's like, what do we do? So what do you do for those people?
Well, if I find out or someone contacts me about a home that maybe the adult children, it has happened many times before, they're in somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
They have a home that, first of all, they need to wait until probate clears it if it hasn't gotten properly transferred before. So it usually takes a few months, depending on how it's done. Then they have to maintain the home during that time, cut the grass, all that kind of stuff, make sure they're not going to get a fine for it. And they have to maintain the home. They have to keep the electric on because we live in Florida and all that humidity causes black mold.
In 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes. It's really bad.
Maybe not that quick, but
5.5.
Yeah.
And so they want to get this property out of the way while I'm here. Now, I do make offers that are lower than what they expect. But here is something that a lot of people don't know. When you go to work, you put in your time, and you expect to get paid.
Yeah.
If I go to work, the same thing. I put in the time, the research, then I put in the repairs, and I buy the home, which is sometimes not cheap. So I expect to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how my payment is, taken right out of there.
Yeah.
They don't have to put anything extra. So it gets them out of a bind. It gets them cash fast. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. And I think that's very fair. I think everybody has the right, to earn a living. And there are plenty of situations where people are in and they're like, that's perfect. Thank you very much. They're all too happy to pay your fee. But I'm glad you mentioned that for those that maybe, didn't even think about that. So now there are lots of other things that you get involved in with regard to real estate investing. So what are some of those opportunities that you love that you're always on the lookout for?
Real estate has so many branches to it, so many things. You can get into land. You can get into land developing. You can get into tax liens and deeds. When someone has a home, they haven't paid their taxes because it was a bad year for some reason, the county may require them to pay some taxes. And if they don't or can't, then the county puts a lien on their property.
Okay.
But the county's not going to wait to get paid. So they auction off that lien to investors or to someone that has money. Those people pay the taxes, and the county will reimburse them at the end of the year that money plus interest. And the auction for those liens goes down. They start at about, let's say, 16%, 15% on your money.
Okay.
And then they auction who wants to pay 15 or who's willing to take 14% or 12 or 10.
Wow.
And then whoever's the winner of that gets to pay money. But their money is like putting it into a bank where you get 14%.
Okay.
You put money into a bank now and you barely get 1%.
Yeah.
And then you get taxed on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites.
Okay.
There's tax deeds. Florida has both liens and deeds. And deeds are when people have not paid their taxes.
Okay.
Over and over. The county has put a lien on it. A few years later, they still haven't been paid. So they take the property. They foreclose on the property.
Okay.
And now the county is the owner of the deed. So they auction off that deed and say, hey, who wants to pay for this deed? They're owed $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. So you go, you pay $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. The property may be worth a little more than that. It might be vacant land. It might be a home. Those fly off the shelf real quick. And there it is. That's another form that's another form.
Very good.
Of course, the one you hear about very common is you buy a home, you rehab it, repair it, and then you sell it. Another form is you find a home, you put a contract on it, and you sell the contract to an investor for a price. Why would an investor pay? Well, because it's a good deal and they didn't have to waste time looking for the deal.
Oh, clever.
So all they do all day long is get the deals that are coming in from wholesalers. And they don't have to spend time looking for a deal.
Okay.
They can just go straight into buying the home and rehabbing it or renting it. That's another form.
Okay.
You buy it, you rent it out. You could find a nice home, fix it up, and as long as you bought it at a good price, you can go to a bank, refinance it or finance it traditionally, get your money back out, maybe even a little more, and keep the house and rent it out.
Yeah.
So you've gotten all your money back, a little profit, and now you have passive income coming in.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. And then you can get, companies to do the, inquiry of, prospective tenants. You can get another company to make repairs. So if you don't want to get involved in all of that.
Sure.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you hire out the work.
Yeah. So
everybody wins.
Yeah. So now tell people again, now that we're in the second half, because you never know when somebody's going to tune in at the last moment and they catch this part. And then they're like, I'm trying to find them. But Nelson Diaz, there's like 3,500 of them in Florida alone. There's a lot
That's
of Nelson.
how I hide.
Yeah, right? But for those that do seriously want to reach out to you with some, deals to get involved in, to offer to you, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they have to keep watching your show.
Yes.
Until you put the information on the screen.
Yes, and it is 954-789-4356. And then it's BC Nelson Diaz. That's Bravo Charlie Nelson Diaz @gmail.com. So that's your email. Very cool. And so land also and business transactions when people are buying and selling businesses.
Sure.
You've gotten involved in that as well.
Yeah, apartment complexes or laundromats, whatever. Anything that you can buy, keep, and get income from, or sell and get income from, or however you want. There's, again, so many different ways.
Yeah.
Some people they owner finance a home, and then they sell the paper.
Okay.
Like banks do. Sometimes, have you noticed that banks, you mortgage a house with a bank, and a few months down the road, they say, hey, listen, you gotta pay these guys now, not us.
Yeah.
Next payment to them. That's because they sold the paper. They sold the mortgage.
Okay.
That's what's happening there. And sometimes they'll do that 2 or 3 times.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool then. All right. And we have 2 minutes. I did ask at the beginning of the show if we can have 5 more. She always says no, but Cindy is just fantastic, though. Okay, so now before we wrap up, though, since you have like 1 minute left, what would you like to let people know that we didn't get a chance to touch on?
Don't panic. In any situation that you're in, if you're in a good situation, I also partner with investors.
Okay.
So if you need to not put your money in the bank where it's called lazy money because it's not producing anything, I'm here. Give me a call. We'll figure something out. We'll work on a project.
Is sitting on $500,000. You can help them.
They can be my friend.
Okay, I think that's terrific because there's
you
plenty
don't have
of
to sit on
people-
$500,000 though.
Okay, so it could be less. I like to kid on this show, but that actually is brilliant because there are people that are invested, and I know I have 1 minute, and they're invested in the market and things, and then they have a bucket of money, so then they can do real estate, but they can do it with an experienced professional. Nelson, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you.
You've given hope to some people that might be in a dicey situation. You've given people that have buckets of money a new avenue for investing. I love that. And my name is Ellen Contreras. I am the host of Treasure Coast Connector. I hope that everyone has a safe, productive, wonderful week. Grow your money. Give Nelson a call. And until next week, I miss you already.